Thank you for tuning in. You're watching Burnham Podcast on YouTube or maybe on Rumble. You can also find it anywhere you listen to podcasts. So wherever you found it, know that you can find it other places too. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, here's how you can help. Head over to patreon.com/Burnham Project. Thank you very much. So tonight I got to catch up with an old friend, a guy I hadn't talked to in forever. I've been doing a lot of that on the podcast here lately. This guy's into all kinds of stuff. He makes tires. He fixes the machines that make tires. He makes a fantastic cheeseburger, apparently. Who knew? And he's got dreams of running his own food truck one day. Man, we talked about all kinds of stuff in this episode. It's great to have Jon Briggs on. Welcome to Burnham Podcast. I'm your host, Danny Burnham. We're live. There's the button right now.
There's the button.
There it goes. It just pops on. And then
red light is on.
Red, is it red?
It is red. I forget your color.
I've never known what color that light was. Tango, why didn't you tell me?
Every now and then it turns green when I want it to.
Why would it turn green?
When we're using a switcher and it's off air, it means it's red. When it's green, it means it's live.
That is.
Or vice versa. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference anyway. It always looks the same to me.
That's how I can put a bigger light that turns like blue or white or something.
You can add a light that, it's just a little light that tells us it's on. We don't have to.
Its official name is a tally light.
A tally light.
I didn't even know that one, and I've done tech with Tango for so long.
This is why I have Tango, because he knows these things and I don't. And it doesn't matter, I guess, what color the light is, as long as I know to start talking when it comes on.
It's actually really funny. We've got a guy, so at work, we've got like this screen that we can pull up, and we call it the Christmas tree screen, because it shows you all the individual machines, and it's either green or red, and it shows how long it's either been running straight uptime or just down. And so, green is good, red is bad, this, that, the other. And we had extra people. We had a guy who was like, yeah, you're going to troubleshoot tonight. Turns out he's red-green colorblind, so he's just got absolutely...
That's a problem. Looks good to me, boss. I don't know. It's been going great for days and days now.
Exactly.
I couldn't do that job. I couldn't do it. I couldn't tell what was red or green or... This light's different color. I feel like the light is almost like a character in the podcast at this point. Because we talk about it like every week when the light's on, like it's never been on before. Surprise. I mean, it can be.
I don't know.
There are any rules here. We do what we want.
This is my first time doing anything like this.
Have you ever heard a podcast before?
I did.
You've listened to some of ours.
I've listened to some.
Yeah.
I'm not a big podcast fan. I prefer just putting on music. I was a band nerd for a reason. So.
I got you. Were a band nerd, weren't you? I forgot about that. You were the trombone, right?
Trombone, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but you can just. Like, if you've been in a band, you can look at somebody else, right? And you know, what did I play?
Oh, God.
Did you know I was in the band?
I didn't even know that.
I was in the band in 7th and 8th grade.
Wait, you were in the band?
A marching band in 7th and 8th grade at East Rome Junior High in 7th, and then at Rome Middle in 8th.
I'm going to go pull this yearbook later.
Do I have? I've got the 8th grade one. I might have both of those. So if you had to guess.
I'm going to say either a trumpet or a tuba.
I played the trumpet. So I played trumpet in 7th grade, and then in 8th grade, part of the year, I didn't. We marched in like 2 parades in Peach State, and that was about it. So we didn't do football games. I played football in middle school, but part of the 8th grade year, I played the bass drum in the concert band.
Okay.
Because I'd hurt my shoulder and I was in a sling, and it made it tough, to hold my trumpet. So they were like, here's this mallet, and this is what these notes look like. And I was like, all right. And so I played the bass drum. So that was a little bit of a trick question, but you nailed it anyway.
Yeah.
So you can, never mind, Tango was not in the marching band.
No.
God bless him.
No, one of the funniest things I ever got to witness, though, with bass drum actually was, I'm sure you remember old Josh Romero.
Yeah.
So the old band director at Cass.
Are we just going to tell stories now on people we know?
Let's go for it.
Bring it. I hope he listens.
I hope so too.
We can send it to him.
Tag him, yeah.
The old band director at Cass, before he retired, said he always wanted to smack a kid. That was his one goal.
That'll get you retired real fast.
It will. And so apparently, I forget what he was playing, but it's for the bass drum, and he kept hitting it too hard. And the band director apparently just like grabs his face and just starts like doing this and stroking his face and goes, "It's like a woman. You have to be soft and gentle and loving. You can't just smack it." And so he got his final wish on Josh Romero.
Smack a kid.
And, I mean, he got to finish out the school year, but, I mean.
It's always Josh, though, right?
It was always Josh.
The floaty thing at camp that year when he bounced off the side and injured himself on the cord.
Anytime I see a video with one of those, that's the first thing I think of.
Always think about him. So the thing was Tango, you were there, right?
Was I? Okay.
At Global.
It was the first year we ever went
Oh, the blob.
Yeah, they had the blob in the lake, those big blobs that you blow up, and it was way, way overinflated. They're supposed to have some give in them, and this one didn't. So they were putting somebody out, but he was the one that jumped onto it, right? He wasn't the one that was being launched.
I don't.
Correct. He jumped onto it to try and launch somebody.
Ricocheted off and went down the side and injured himself on the stabilizer cords on the side. We probably should cut this part out.
Yeah. You tell me when you want to start.
We're good. We're rolling. We're good. Yeah. So we go way back with Johnny Briggs here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking exactly how far back earlier today, and it's been a long time.
Yeah.
You're 26.
I'm 26. I don't remember exactly when you started coming to Cassville, but it was pretty much around then.
I would have been about 26 myself, which would have been close to 20 years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
No.
Because you would have come in the youth group in like 6th, 7th grade. You would have been 11 or 12 years old.
Something like that.
So 14 years ago, I guess I was 30, 31.
I feel like that's about accurate.
That's about right.
Because like I know it wasn't when you were my age, because I've been going there since I was going there since like pre-K.
Yeah, you've been there forever.
Yeah, I was there forever. Like the pre-K I went to was right across the parking lot. Like, I mean.
Oh yeah.
It was pre-Jessica.
Oh yeah.
Like
by
really.
a lot. Yeah.
I want to say it's like 15 or 16 years.
Something like that.
Yeah, it had to have been. I was not younger than 30 then.
Because I actually,
you would have been 28 or 29.
Yeah, and 28, 29, maybe as old as 30. Because I'm almost a whole year older than Chris.
That's when we were doing Underground Fight Club.
Woo! Yeah, that was good stuff.
I don't think I ever made it for that one.
We're talking about it now, right? 15 years has gone by. That's the statute of limitations on an Underground Fight Club. Good times. That was always fun. Anyway. So we go way back. You were in our youth group way back when I was in youth ministry. I always feel compelled when I talk to, I've apologized to you before, Tango, and Johnny Harris and other guys, and I'm like, man, I'm sorry for some of the dumb stuff we made y'all do back then.
That we did?
Yeah, that we did, that might or might not have been my idea on some level. I don't know. I have a different perspective on youth ministry now, and now that I'm a lead pastor.
Yeah.
I go, I probably wouldn't have done it that way.
It's fine. Nobody died.
Yeah, I guess not. Right?
So we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Nobody died. Nobody's in jail.
Yeah, you survived, and you're a productive member of society. Now, what are you up to these days?
Mostly just working at the tire factory. Every once in a while, I'll do some catering on the side. That's fun.
Some catering on the side?
Yes.
What kind of catering are we doing?
Anything people want, honestly. Just, they say.
You don't have like a single, this is the stuff that I do?
No, because.
There's the Jon Briggs burger that's pretty fire, and then there's the Johnny B mac and cheese that's pretty solid.
So.
It's the extra cheese.
With the cheeseburger, every year at the tire factory, we do the big plant shutdown. And with my position being a maintenance style position, I get to come in and do air leaks, water leaks.
Right.
So first night of shutdown, we're all excited because, there's like a total of maybe 30 people in the second
The
largest
entire plant.
the second largest building in the state. It's
Yeah.
72 acres under one roof. There's like 30 of us. You don't have to see anybody if you don't want to see anybody.
Right.
And I made a bunch of cheeseburgers because we're doing a massive potluck. I took like 30 cheeseburgers. And at one point, I walk into the office where we have all the food set up. And 3 of the maintenance guys are sitting there trying to do a bidding war over who was going to be my sugar daddy and pay my bills. All I had to do was just sit there and cook. That's all I had to do. And then the one gay maintenance lady was sitting there offering to go straight over this cheeseburger. I don't care.
Oh my God.
I don't care, but it was hysterical.
I think we're okay. We're good.
We're still good.
I'm going for PG here, but just like that's the cheeseburger that I make is
Changes lives, apparently.
apparently so. Like I was fairly impressed with myself.
Oh, man. So, wow. You've had this cheeseburger.
Yeah.
How have I not had the Jon Briggs? What is it called? Do you have a name for it?
No, I just how I make my regular cheeseburgers.
I got you.
I need to do more soon. I sold a bunch at work not too long ago. I took orders, and within like 30 minutes of me starting to take orders, I had already sold 40 of them.
40. All right, Jon Briggs, at this point in the interview, I've got to ask you, what are you still doing working in a tire factory?
Why don't you own a van serving these cheeseburgers out of the van? Not a sketchy van, but a real van.
Yeah, like a food truck.
I want one very much.
Okay.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
They're very expensive.
Yeah.
So I gotta get to the point where I can afford one, or at least be able to start leasing or renting, whatever I got to do. I want one, and it's funny you actually said it the way you did, because there's one of the supervisors at work, and he's one of those like tough love guys.
Yeah.
Bullies you if he likes you. He leaves you alone if he doesn't.
Right.
He always gives me crap. This, that, the other. The first time he ever tried one of my cheeseburgers, he was sitting in a rolly chair missing a wheel. And he takes a bite of it, spins around, almost face plants because he spins onto the missing wheel pretty much. Why do you still work in a tire factory?
I mean, Tango, you were on the same page here,
I agree.
right?
Hey, I got an idea.
Shoot it at us.
We got something coming up on December 31st.
December 31st, we do.
I think there are some burgers that need to be made.
I mean, I can make cheeseburgers.
Okay, so let's roll this out right now while we're sitting here. If you're on Patreon, you would know this already. Patreon.com/Burnham Project. We are having in this room a New Year's Eve live event. Johnny Briggs is going to be here doing some man on the street stuff. Tango and Chris Pyle going to be in the studio. My brother Drew's going to be in town, so he's going to be around some. He'll be Andrew Denman's going to come in for a while. Some other folks, we're trying to get some musical acts lined up. We're going to do a couple of stand-up comedian type guys are going to come in and do a few minutes, and so that's going to be on our YouTube and Rumble pages. So there's that. But while we got Johnny Briggs here, we may just fire up the Burnham burgers. I don't know. If you feel froggy, we'll make some burgers for.
We got a place for me to set up a grill or something. I can do something.
Right back there.
Yeah, we can make it happen, Captain.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You might need to bring the trailer so I can get my good grill. If we're gonna do it, let's do
The
it
good
right.
grill. Yeah, the good grill.
No, and that's.
Tell us about your grill.
I love my grill, so I always wanted a Blackstone, and I saw the big one at Academy Sports, and that's the one I wanted, but I could never really justify it.
Yeah, you're young and single. You don't have to justify things.
Yeah, fair enough. But then my friends were getting married, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to cater our wedding," and I was like, "All right, cool. What do you want for how many people?" Taco bar. All right, easy enough. 150 people. Huh. I cooked for 4 days straight on that, but I was able to, buy the big 6-burner flat top griddle.
Yeah.
Because I could go, it's a business expense.
Absolutely. And you write it off, right?
Exactly.
Everything's a business expense.
Everything is. No, it's fantastic. So, let's get this going, man.
I can do it.
We've had some people on and we've talked about, like Kip Buford, and like we talked to PJ Broom in Destination Hometown about living your dream, right?
Yeah.
And like we were talking about this a little bit off air and staying in a job you didn't, not that you hate your job, but like you stay in a job that you like, I don't hate my job, but it's not my dream job.
Yeah.
So like, let's get you in your dream job.
Yeah, I never dreamed of working in a tire factory as a kid. I don't think anyone has.
Nobody does, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I know a bunch of people that work in the same tire factory, and it pays your bills and you don't hate it and whatever. But what's your dream though?
Well, I want the food truck.
Yeah.
That's pretty much because I did do that year and a half move down to Florida. We're going to call it a working vacation at this point.
A year and a half long working vacation.
And that is what I pretty much mostly did. Like when I first started, I was working for Caterpillar as a mechanic for a little bit, but
This is what you're doing in Florida?
This is what I was doing in Florida, yeah.
Okay, what part of Florida were you in?
I was in Port St. Lucie.
Okay, so you were in Port St. Lucie when I was in West Palm at one point.
Probably.
We communicated on Facebook. I remember this, and I don't know why. But you were like, hey, you're just down the road from me. And if I had known you were there, we'd have made some plans to hang out.
Yeah, because whenever I worked for the cat dealership, I was actually working at the West Palm location.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, I was working mainly on the side with my buddy's food truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started working full time for my buddy's food truck. Excuse me. And then while I was doing that, he's showing me all the ropes, this, that, the other. Well, he knows I want to get as much experience as I could. That way, whenever I get to the point of actually owning my own, I know as much as I can.
Yeah.
So they're all the food truckers are in a Facebook group message, whatever. And they're like, oh, I need somebody for this day. And my buddy's like, yeah, well, I'm not doing anything. Here, take John. And just kind of rent me out to the other food trucks. And so, I got to experience, all right, well, now I'm working on the taco truck. I'm working on the waffle truck. I'm working on this truck, that truck, Jamaican, you name it. I got to
So
I
you
got to see
covered
it.
the whole gamut of different food styles.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Man.
That's why whenever I do the little bits of catering that I do, it's just you tell me what you want, I'll make it happen.
I wonder what kind of licenses you got. I mean, you have to have any kind of license or anything for a food truck, like a restaurant. You pass inspections.
Yeah, you gotta do
all that
all
stuff?
that same stuff.
You could do that.
I mean, I can.
I mean, you've seen it all now, right?
I've seen it all. The physical running of like the truck, the making of the money.
Right.
I know all of that part.
Yeah.
It's the behind the scenes like bookwork that I'm not as much into.
Bookwork. What is bookwork? I mean,
Hey, we know somebody from the last podcast who can help with that.
that's true.
Oh.
My last podcast guest, his wife is a virtual assistant, and she does all that stuff for small businesses. Like what we're talking about here. We can make it happen. We'll get you
Interesting.
her contact info after this. I feel like she'd probably cut you a pretty. I don't know what she charges, but I don't think it's an arm and a leg either.
Yeah. And another thing I was looking at was I got a buddy, me and him, great friends. He owns small business out in Rockmart, makes a killing. He does well with it. Mm-hmm. He's like, I want to branch out. And he knows all the bookwork.
Is he a restaurant guy?
No, he owns
Just business.
He owns a vape shop out in Rockmart.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, he at least knows bookwork, and his licensing is way harder than
I'm sure.
restaurants'
I'm sure,
licensing.
Suck this stuff into your lungs. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You got to jump through all kinds of hoops.
But so he knows all that stuff, and he's just like, it's like, man, you do the bookwork. I will run the truck. I know how to do things like that.
Partnership's the way to go, right?
Yeah.
This was just me talking into a microphone before Tango showed up.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tango.
We're going to like push you into your dreams whether you like it or not. Like,
We're going to abuse you into it.
Yeah.
Well, a few weeks ago, Toyo had everybody, like, they got 4 food trucks to come out, and they fed everybody free lunch, this, that, the other.
Yeah.
And all the maintenance people and people that have tried my cheeseburgers and my food are just like, that could be you out there. Why wasn't that you out there?
Man, I mean, if you were ever looking for a sign from God, John,
Yeah.
I mean, what are you waiting on? I mean, I know it's a money thing.
Yeah.
Funding.
Yeah.
Funding. Just going to start a GoFundMe page at this point.
That's it. Why not? What's it going to hurt? People, you already don't have the money. So, like, if nobody gives you money, nothing's changed. But if somebody does, you're rocking and rolling, man. You're out there
Fair
changing
enough.
the world one cheeseburger at a time.
One cheeseburger at a time.
Or 40 cheeseburgers at a time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no. Because it's actually funny. You know, I do love my cheeseburgers and all this, that, the other. But the whole thing is my background picture on my phone, there's the guy. His name is George Motes. He's America's burger historian.
Is this the guy that's had a Big Mac every day for the last 50 years or whatever?
No.
Okay.
This guy legitimately has traveled all the country, going around just eating different, like, localized types of cheeseburgers. This, that, the other. He's written 2 books, did a movie, this, that, the other. The movie was like Burger America. He's done stuff on Travel Channel. He's got stuff he does on YouTube, this, that, the other. And January of 2022, I stayed up like 26 hours because I worked one night, got off, went home, grabbed a shower, helped my buddy move a washer because he didn't have a truck and I did at that time. So we moved the washer into his apartment. I help him set up the washer. Then I drive down to Atlanta to meet George Motes because
So you did get to meet him.
I absolutely.
That's
like I made
awesome.
sure. I was like, I don't care. I'm going to meet this man and eat his cheeseburger because he did like a little pop-up
Yeah.
in Atlanta. And I was like, oh my.
George Motes. Tango, you know this guy?
Yeah, I was the one who sent him the information.
Yeah.
Oh, of course you were, because you know all this weird stuff.
Speaking of, Mr. Motes is starting a restaurant
Yes.
with all the localized burgers like across America. So like he's starting a restaurant that has like the Juicy Lucy and
Oklahoma
every
fried onion
specialty
burger,
burger.
So you were able to go into this one restaurant and get these all these different burgers.
All
from
the
over
burgers.
place?
All
Yes.
of them.
Holy smokes.
Because
This
one
is
of
turned into Food Network.
I know,
Yeah.
right? We're off the rails here, but this is fantastic.
I told you don't come hungry.
I know, you promised we were going to talk about food tonight, whether I liked it or not.
Yeah. That's what I can do. I have this horrible trait where I can talk food for hours and hours and hours, and I
Okay.
don't get hungry.
I'm starving
I'm-
right now. I ate. I always eat before I do these because my brain just functions better, but
I'm kind of
I need a
starving.
cheeseburger right about now.
This is why I
episode
can't watch the Food
sponsored
Network.
by hunger.
Well, because that's what I love. Is like I remember this was a couple years ago. You had shared some kind of post on Facebook.
This comes back to me. It's my fault again, right? Here we go.
No. This one's not bad.
Okay.
But it was like grab the nearest book grab the book closest to you, open a page, blah blah blah, read this sentence of the first paragraph or whatever.
Yeah.
And the book I had closest to me is Franklin's Steak, a book that goes so in depth. The first chapter is telling you how to raise the cow. And the sentence was something like, before the popularity of the ribeye and this, that, the other, these steaks were king, talking about like the porterhouse, the T-bone, and the tenderloin.
right.
And everyone's just like, I don't know what book you were reading, but I need this in my life.
Oh, you know what? I think I remember that now. Yeah. Because I do remember because somebody else posted a line from like The Secret, and then there were all kinds of. You weren't supposed to say the name of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this now. Yeah, and I was thinking that at that time that made me hungry, and I was like, yeah, this is. So Johnny Briggs and his cheeseburgers, or his tacos, or his
Anything.
muffaletta, or whatever. Right? You can do all these things.
I do, because like one of the sandwiches we did on the food truck, and my buddy told me, he's like, hey, anything we did on the truck, I'm 600 miles away now. It's not like I'm going to be any competition.
Right.
Just go for it. We did one. It was like a Q banh mi, as a Vietnamese banh mi meets a Cuban sandwich, and it's just deliciousness.
This guy, Tango, why don't we know about that? You knew about this and you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
So I knew, like, you did a podcast at one point called Some Guys Smoking.
Yeah, like 2 episodes.
And it was about, 2, 3, whatever it was. And, but it was about smoking meat.
Yeah.
Right? And it was excellent. It was fantastic. But I thought maybe that's what you were limited to. Apparently not.
No.
This guy's all over the place.
Yeah.
There's some secret behind the scene footage of like that podcast of all the wild and outrageous things we smoked, from
Let's put it out.
Oreos to apple pie.
Smoking Oreo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that turn out?
Not great. It was kind of
like smoke flavored Oreos.
I think at one point we put some cookie dough on the smoker.
that was pretty. That was good. That was good. We smoked a pizza.
I could get behind that. I think.
Yeah.
I think I can feel that. That's a smoked pizza.
So the whole premise is like we're gonna make one main dish,
Right.
and we're gonna do something wild and experimental.
Okay.
And I think the first like main dish we did was, I was like, let's just go off the walls with it. And I did my smoked frog legs.
Smoked frog legs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Starving right now. This is terrible.
No,
This podcast is off the rails entirely.
You're gonna have to
outside
just
of
put-
our normal format completely, but here we are
hey,
nonetheless.
you're just gonna have to put that hunger warning on like,
man,
be careful, don't watch hungry.
this episode just named itself. We're gonna call it like the Hunger Games with Johnny Briggs.
Oh, I love it.
Not what you think.
I think I got a template to throw the hunger warning
Tango's
up
already
there.
got the thumbnail in his mind that he's working out. Tango makes our thumbnails, by the way. If you guys like them, let us know. I think they're cool.
Or if you hate them, please tell me
Or
how
if
I
you
can make
hate
them better.
Yeah. Please let us know if you hate them too. You won't hurt our feelings. We're trying to do this
better.
best we can. Man, so how did you get to Florida? You're from Cartersville, Georgia.
So my sister and her husband at that time,
Which one of your sisters?
Ashley, the
Okay.
oldest one.
Yeah.
Her now ex-husband's uncle was down there and already working for the dealership, and then he's like, yeah, y'all come down here. And so they're like, okay, cool. And they went down there, they got established, this, that, the other, and then they're like, hey, how about you come down here? And I was like, I was 20 years old at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I've got plenty of time to make bad decisions in my life. Might as well. You know, if it doesn't work out, I'll just move back. And
Yeah, you
well,
always
you know,
go back, right?
hey, where am I? Yeah.
I mean, that's a different world down there, though. Oh,
my gosh,
It felt
yes.
like I spent a lot of time in Florida, and I had been to Miami a few times before that with an old job. But then in West Palm, you know, you're an hour or a little more north of Miami, and then Port St. Lucie was a little north of West Palm. But that felt a lot more like California-ish once you get that far south.
yeah.
Because I'd been to, you know, L.A. and that area before, so it felt like that. I don't know. It was a little different than.
Well, and like there's the whole thing when it comes to Florida. The further south you get, the more north it gets.
Yeah.
There's a Y. It's called Yeehaw Junction.
Yeah.
And if you're north of the Y, you're in the south. If you're south of the Y, you're in the north.
Yeah. No, everybody, all the car tags in West Palm, if they didn't say, you know, Palm Beach County or whatever, they would say Michigan or Pennsylvania or New York.
Yeah.
The Northerners down there. And I don't know, but what I was surprised about, though, was that it wasn't like a tourist area.
No, it's not.
Like you live there or you don't. And there just wasn't. It's a big city, but there's nothing to do for people, you know, like come here and do this. Like there's not that thing. So
Yeah,
it's
but-
a little odd. But anyway, you got to Port St. Lucie, Florida through the sis and bro-in-law.
Yeah, and then, you know, they're how I met my buddy on the food truck, this,
Right.
that, the other. Like I said, worked for him. Ended up working for a water bottle factory at one point.
Water bottle factory.
Yeah.
All right.
Then,
Was it Zephyr Hills?
no, it was Niagara.
Okay. Zephyr Hills is down that way, right? Like the actual town called Zephyr Hills.
There is, yes,
Yeah.
but Zephyr Hills is just the Florida brand for Nestle.
Like, anyway. I'm not a paid spokesperson, so I don't know.
I know way too much about water bottles. Like if I have like a regular like store brand water bottle from Niagara, I can tell you way too much.
Are we good with these? Like this is just the standard.
Are they
run-of-the-mill.
poison?
It just says plastic bottle on the side. Like there's no.
Well, these like I know with those, Like, I know exactly how to read the expiration date label, like laser label. So I can tell you the day, time it was made. I can tell you what factory it was made in, what blow molder the bottle went through, what preform it came from, what preform the cap came from, this that, the other. Like, it's ridiculous. The
One of
amount
those things
information.
I would just rather not have to consider when I'm looking at a water bottle. You know, like, is it going to disintegrate and give me some terrible disease? Like, I don't want to know. Just don't tell me.
You drink Rome City water, so I mean,
I try not to. You know,
you already got the forever chemicals.
I know.
I mean,
poisoned myself with the Rome City water.
And then you just like looking at words like this, like distilled water, this, that, the other, electrolytes for taste. Like, people always like give crap because Dasani, it's salty. All it is salt. Like, all it is, that is all it is. I don't know why people get so butthurt about it, but it's just like
you're drinking more salt water.
It's
I mean, but it makes you want more water, right? When you drink salt water, and then,
idiocracy.
Yeah,
It's got the electrolytes the plants crave.
Tango's lost his composure.
Oh, this one went off the rails real quick.
It did, man. This might be the worst episode we've ever done.
But it's gonna be the funniest.
It might be. It might be.
Hey, you said you wanted a good lighthearted episode. That's what I can do.
I needed a lighthearted one. We talked about some heavy stuff with live night, and yeah. No, it's good. It's good. But so you went to Florida, and you learned the ins and outs mostly of the food truck. So did this guy do all this stuff too, or did he have like a burger truck, or was he specific?
So Red is the whitest ginger out of backwoods Ohio that you could ever meet.
Okay.
Classically trained in Vietnamese and Asian cooking.
Oh, that's spicy.
And then
no pun intended.
His wife is from Venezuela. So it was a lot of like Latin Asian fusion, this, that, the other.
Yeah.
And so he did that, and then like we would just do whatever we felt like. Like it was called Red's Kitchen because
he's a ginger.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
His real name's Brian, but if you ever met him, like, he does not have the personality of a guy named Brian. It's just too boring of a name.
Okay. Brian's a boring name. Okay.
But
sorry to all you Brians out there.
If it tells you anything about his personality, first of all, my sister said that him, and Tango are never allowed to be near each other, all three at once.
That's fair.
Because we are all almost identical.
Yeah.
And the southern tip of Florida would just blow off the face of the planet.
Just float on down to Cuba.
But it's at one point he was trying to be on the show like Cutthroat Kitchen. Mm-hmm. And then Food Network was like, hey, sorry, we want you to do next Food Network star. We kind of like you a little too much.
Okay.
And they wanted to try and make him like a more regular person.
Yeah.
And then he messed up his back, couldn't do it.
But you, Jon Briggs.
Yeah.
You could do it.
You can do it. You can be the next Food Network star.
Yeah.
I'd be doing very similar to, Guy Fieri. Just I want to get paid to go around and eat at restaurants. I would love that.
Well, why not, right? Why not? You get paid to go around and eat at restaurants, or you drive your little food truck all over the country.
Fair enough.
And
there's a lot of paperwork in that one.
I'm sure that, you got to cross state lines and all kinds of fun stuff.
You pretty much have to have like a license for each county.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yikes.
And that's the whole thing is, so like, say, I'd base it out of Bartow, whatever, because that's where I'm at. So, I'd get a year-long license for Bartow. Mm-hmm. Well, say I get a job doing a festival in Atlanta. I'm only going to be there one day. You can get a one-day license.
You get like a one-day or a 3-day pass or
whatever. Pretty much. You just get like a 3-day pass. Done. Knock it out. Go back to Bartow selling burgers wherever you go.
All right.
So this sounds like destination hometown in a food truck one day.
It does. And I'm not sure. We'll have to, work out the logistics on that.
We can travel in a food truck.
We could travel in a food truck. Yeah, right?
There's plenty of ways to do it.
Yeah, it's a truck for Pete's sake. You just drive it from one place to the next. That's how you travel in a food truck. It's easy.
Yeah.
See, it's all sorted out. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll document it. It'll be the next great series we do.
Yeah, it'd be a little different from the food truck race. It's like, hey, we're just,
Yeah. The problem right now, though, is that we don't have a food truck.
Yeah, that is the problem.
Gotta come up with the scratch to do that.
So anyone with a food truck, if
Man.
you're willing to sell it,
Yeah, or just
donate it.
Wants to finance it. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
donate it to
that
Rome
too.
Reform- Yeah, man. I don't know. It's so you went down there, and how long were you in Florida?
About a year and a half. I moved down there in August of 18. I moved back early February of 2020. So like mere minutes before COVID hit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was not fun to deal with.
You were in Florida though. Florida was not as bad as some other places in terms of
No,
restrictions.
It hit like a week after I moved back up here. So it was.
I got you. So you missed all of it down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bless his heart. Yeah, man. That was not a fun time. Tango, you were in Los Angeles, right? Trying to get out of there before it.
as the city of LA was shutting down, I was like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
I was flying back out.
Holy smokes. Yeah, I didn't need that, man. That was the worst year maybe ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what brought you back up here? Did COVID bring you back up here, or was it?
Florida's just really, really, really expensive.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm good. I got, like I said, I called it a working vacation.
Mm-hmm.
One, it was a very populated area.
Yeah.
Wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, not from Cartersville, Georgia to populated South Florida.
Taking 20 minutes to go like 2 miles down the street.
Yeah.
Killed my soul.
I think it kills everybody's soul.
Was driving down Grassdale Road, right?
Yeah, no. Like I had some of my Florida friends come up to Helen for a Volkswagen festival. And, they're all Florida people. They were like white knuckling driving through the mountains going to Helen.
Mountain roads, yeah.
And I'm just casually sitting there driving my truck. They're like, my truck can't do that. Yours is 10 years newer. And
yeah, everything's flat and straight down there, though. You got to worry about
flat, straight, or swamp.
Yeah, right. You're dodging alligators, maybe. But yeah, that's different than the mountains.
So my sister that lives down there, her new boyfriend now, offered to drive home from Thanksgiving because they came up for Thanksgiving, this, that, the other. He's like, yeah, I think I can handle it. What are those things? Like, I'm not used to the road doing up and down and
hills.
Then up. He's not used to that, And it's like, hey, man, just think of it kind of like an on or off ramp for the interstate.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right? They're just everywhere.
And then, every once in a while, believe it or not, you have to, at least keep one hand on the wheel to, turn.
At least just the one. Sometimes you got to have two, though. You get those hairpins and you look like you're in the middle of them and you look beside you and you can see the back end of your car coming around.
It's like that. You're not supposed to be there.
Yeah. They're fun on a motorcycle, though.
Fair enough.
Super fun.
I never rode a motorcycle, so I can't really say anything.
Motorcycle.
Can we get him on the scooter?
Briggs?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. With a burger and like riding maybe this hand because the throttle's over here. Yeah, just dishing out burgers from the ruckus up and down Broad Street.
That's the way you get people to talk into the microphone.
That's it. You give them a hamburger. That's a fantastic idea. So we're just gonna plan this out right here on the air, and everybody's gonna wish that they had. So you need like a burger station like set up where a place where you can make burgers, and be the guy on the street with a microphone. And so that's John's job at the New Year's event is going to be the man on the street asking questions, or we're going to do trivia or stupid human tricks or like who knows. But then you get a hamburger at the end.
Yeah.
As you're walking up and down Broad Street here for New Year's Eve festivities. Man, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a thing, Tango. We're going to do this. We're doing this. Are you good with this? I'm volunteering you to do all these things.
I'm absolutely 100% down for this.
Oh man, Preston's in, right?
Pretty sure he's in.
Yeah, you guys never met Preston yet. We'll get Preston on at some point. We were gonna do an episode with him one night, and then we just didn't. And I'm not 100% sure why, but we just kind of.
He wasn't ready.
Yeah, maybe not.
He's a little skittish on camera.
Yeah, a little bit. So I don't know. This food thing, though, man, I'm starving now. I'm so hungry.
You're welcome.
I know I ate before I came. I always eat. I talked about that a minute ago. I always eat before I do this, so my brain is full. Not that it's ever great, but it's better when I'm not hungry. But now I'm just hungry again.
We filmed Hungry before.
Yeah, we have. It's not as bad as this, but it's still bad. It's
Like, I gotta go home and eat now.
I'm gonna go. Schroeder's is still open across the street when we get out of here. I don't know, but yeah, let's get this food truck thing going. Let's do the New Year's Eve thing. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I mean, like, have you ever done anything like that before? Like interviews and.
I'll figure it out as
Yeah,
go.
it's wing. You got the personality for it, man.
He's got that spokesman in him.
He does. You just turn on the radio voice. We were talking about that off air.
Yeah, I can do that. Just turn on the radio voice. Hey, you ready for questions?
Rock and roll, yeah.
You just gotta be your dad.
Fair enough. I can do
Your
that.
dad's got the radio voice, man. He loves blue and lives gold every day.
Yeah. Hate that saying so much.
But you got to. You got to cover your sponsors or your, whoever you're there for. And
Well, it was like, and here was the whole fun one was like, we were doing the Powerpuff game one year, and we decided we're going to do dual commentary.
oh,
And then it turns out me and him sounded identical on the radio over the loudspeakers.
Yeah.
And so like they come over the radio, Mr. Briggs, are you talking to yourself? Over the radio?
sorta. We are both Mr. Briggs.
So can we hear it then? Let's hear it.
You got a sample for us?
Let's hear the cast.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are we ready for some Cass High football?
I love it.
Unfortunately, they're out of the
After
playoffs.
that, I was waiting on that.
Yeah, now they're out of the playoffs. The funniest one was whenever they decided they were going to start shooting the cannons at the beginning of each half, and nobody knew this.
Why would you not?
Because, at first it was just, hey, touchdown.
Touchdown, cannon. Yeah.
Well, then they decided they're going to start shooting off at the beginning of every half and not tell anybody.
Right.
And that started at the old school. And at the old school, the press box was connected to the main building.
Right.
Well, they just, fire it off at the beginning of the game, kick off, cannon. And they put a charge in that one because it shook the whole press box for a second. My dad just immediately, without no hesitation, clicks on his radio. He's like, for those of you that don't know, that was the Cass-Eye cannon. Also, for those of you that don't know, the bathrooms are located underneath the bleachers.
Oh, man.
And then it just clicks off, and we're all in the press box. We are
Everybody's
absolutely
dying.
crying, laughing.
When we had an indoor football team here, David Humphreys that was on 2 episodes back, he coached the team, and before every game, the sheriff's department or the SWAT team or somebody, a guy would rappel in from the rafters with the game ball, and it was this cool thing. But first, he would throw a flashbang out. Right, he would just chuck it from the rafters, and it would go off about halfway down to the field. So, dead center of the arena, pow! Every week. Nobody ever expected it, right? It got us. I worked for the team the second year they were here. It got us every week. Nobody was ever ready. It would go off right above my head because I worked at the score table right off the field there. And, every time. Everybody was like, oh, what was – and you try to wait, when's it? And it would surprise you anyway. It didn't matter. And it might have just, it might have just been that it was a flashbang, and nobody's ever ready for a flashbang. Yeah. Even when you see it coming, and it still surprises you. But it was shotgun going off, and you're in a bright flash of light. And it was just like Call of Duty when you get flashbanged, and you get the everything stands still and goes,
Tinnitus.
tinnitus.
I didn't know this about our football. I forgot that we had a football team. As much as you talk about it,
Man,
I
indoor
forget.
football was so fantastic. It was the coolest. I gotta love football anyway. But then you're watching a football game that's going on in a bathtub. It felt so. The field was 25 yards wide, maybe just 20 yards wide, and 50 yards long. So it's tiny. It's a tiny little field, and each team's got 8 guys instead of 11, and there's nowhere to hide. Right, so you're just smashing into each other. Guys are flying over they got dasher boards like hockey, and guys would fly over the boards and go into the, and you got to keep the football if it came to you. And they would throw a flashbang out. It was great. But, it was fun stuff. Indoor football was great.
I mean, that sounds almost more like just free-form wrestling with a ball thrown in there somewhere.
I mean, yeah, to some degree. It was concentrated violence, you know. Like
Hockey, Call of Duty, and football all together.
Was it football or was it really just rugby in disguise?
I mean, it was football, but it was like, I don't know, it was so different that it was almost a different sport.
Yeah.
Just because the field was so different and the number of guys, and I don't know. It was high level stuff though. The guys were super athletes. Like it wasn't they weren't like big fat lazy guys out there, ball headed dudes, you know. There were guys that had played at Georgia and Florida and places like that, and it was legit as far as that went. It was just way different than a game you'll see on, you know, the big field, Barron Stadium, or, you know, the Mercedes-Benz or wherever you're going to watch the Falcons, you know, whatever. It was cool. I enjoyed it. The flashbang got me every week, but
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
It was cool. It was good.
Well, it was like, and you know, with Cass, they had the cannon, you know, not missing a single football game from 6th grade to
you saw them all
until I graduated.
Yeah.
You know, I was immune to the cannon. It didn't bother me. I remember there was one night, and like, you know, 3rd quarter they would let like the seniors or the band officers like go talk to other people from the other band, this, that, the other, and it was one game we're sitting there. And their band director, instead of sending people down to talk to us, he's just like, yeah, y'all just go raid the stands. We don't care. So, like, we're up there and we're talking to everyone. And the away band stands were the closest seats to the cannon. And so we're sitting there, and apparently Cass scores a touchdown, this, that, the other. And I'm continuing the conversation. Nothing's happening.
Right.
Brain's just going. Cannon fires, they all jump, they pee themselves, this, that, the other, and the conversation just never stops. I just keep
right on track.
Nothing happened.
So for those of you in Wahoo, Nebraska, who have no idea what we're talking about right now, there's a school here in Bartow County, Georgia, called Cass High School. It's named after a famous Civil War general. Why are you guys the colonels?
I don't know, but we're the only ones in the state.
You're it. I guess maybe he was a colonel before he was a general. Either way, it's named after this famous Civil War executive.
Yeah.
This famous old cat.
Yeah, right? Which is where John went to school. But this brings me to my next question. When the band captains get together, what are you guys talking about? Like, you walk around on the other side of the field and you meet the cheerleaders do it too.
Yeah.
But why? What are you talking about? What comes up?
Anything, everything.
I mean,
a lot of times it was about the cannon.
Oh, okay. But I mean, like, so what do you? How does the conversation start? Like, you walk up, you know this is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Like every week, you guys walk in because you can see the 4 or 5 guys, maybe each section leader or whatever goes around, and you walk around the other side of the stadium and you bump into these people, and they see you coming, and they come to meet you, and somebody says what?
Well, you at first, whenever you're walking up to them and you looked at them. Like you said, you can kind of look at a band person and just instantly know what they play.
Yeah.
And so you would immediately find the guy closest that what you played, and then you just kind of start talking to them about anything, everything random. You know, I was low brass. We're all just large children. None of us ever had an IQ higher than that of a 4th grader, if that.
No, that's all right.
So, you know, we just sat there and told stupid jokes, and we thought it was
you'd walk
funny.
around there and talk to somebody who was a lot like you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I got you. I just always wondered because, like I said, you see the cheerleaders do it too. Like, what are they talking about when they get around there? Like, you don't know these people. You know, like you're not going to school. You don't know nothing common except that you play in the band. So now you're obligated. But then, you know, I've been to like the coin toss and football games before, and like most of the time you don't say anything at all.
No.
You shake hands, maybe you say good luck, whatever. Stay safe. I don't know. But like you guys are having a conversation that goes on for some period of time.
Yeah.
Okay. I just always wondered, you know, because I was never, like I said, I played in band in middle school. I never went to a football game as, you know, as marching band. So I never got to be part of that conversation.
Yeah. And
so now we didn't like divulge some trade secrets or something.
No.
You didn't teach us the secret handshake. So I guess we're still okay. But yeah, no, I always wondered. That's good stuff. The stuff you learn on Burnham Podcast.
Yeah, just random things.
Yeah. I dig it, though. I dig it. Now, this is the kind of stuff we get you on for because I knew that it was going to be, you know, informative, if nothing else.
Like I said, I remember shooting the text message out because I saw you had posted the episode with Tango.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there cooking dinner, and I was just like, hey, wait, I heard my name. Why am I here? Like, it's just going in the background. I'm sitting there like, I'll forget what I was making, but I just like, wait a second.
We talk about you far more than, I mean, like a lot, really, when most of the time it's not necessarily on air. But, yeah, you come up quite a bit.
Oh, that's scary.
You and Preston and, you know, some of the guys from back in the old days. And,
Fair enough.
yeah. You ever see any of those dudes?
Every once in a while. Dakota works at Toyo, so I
Yeah.
see him every once. Worked at Toyo, I think.
So he works at the tire prison.
Tire prison.
But I see him every once in a
Get
while.
Jon Briggs fired.
I mean, it's completely surrounded by fences.
Yeah.
No barbed wire yet. But,
Right.
But then I saw Zach not too long ago. Old Green Beans,
Yeah.
Zachariah Malachi Cornbread Jenkins.
Yeah. Is he still in law enforcement?
He is, yes.
Good for him. That's all he ever wanted to do.
It was.
Living his dream, right? That's what we were
Yeah.
talking about.
I saw him. It wasn't in, the best of situations because I gently tapped somebody's bumper.
Oh, no.
And then here comes the cops, and then out comes Zach, and he's like, I can't work this case. My
I
bad.
know this guy.
The cop was like, is your vehicle okay? And I mean, I'm talking, I just barely. It was that like crawl whenever you let off the brakes.
Right.
And it's just like, I look at it, and at that time, it's a 10-year-old truck with almost 200,000 miles on it. So it's just like the front, like 3 tabs of the bumper came out.
Just
And
a
then-
little ding, right?
Yeah, and then I don't know if there's a scratch in the paint because there's already 1,000 scratches in the paint on this thing. So I was like, I honestly looked at the cop, and I'm just like, I could have fixed this before you got here, but I didn't have my pry bar on me.
Yeah. I hate when I don't have my pry bar on me, you know? Who doesn't have a pry bar on all the time? I always have a pry bar.
I mean, I don't use it every day, but I got one that sits on my bike with me at work because I ride my little industrial tricycle.
Rides a bike. Imagine, Jon Briggs, yeah, the maintenance guys at Toyo, they ride a bike around.
They got little tricycles.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have. It's a $3,000 industrial tricycle. Oh yeah. And I got a fancy one. This one came out of the box like a month ago, so like it still has the gears on it. It still has an actual handbrake. Like, cause I'm not carrying my 85-pound toolbox plus my bolt bins and my big hammer and my big wrench. And
So
all
we talking like an electric bike, or
and no.
you just pedal this bad boy?
Yes, but a couple of us have joked about trying to get like the electric front wheel that you could put on a regular bike
Yeah.
that does like 30 miles an hour.
Ooh, that's a terrible idea. Inside of a factory with an 85-pound toolbox? No, don't do that.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun.
I mean, it'd be great TV.
What are those guys called who do that? Who pull people around in the rickshaw? That's all. That's all.
Yes.
Look, there's your side hustle while you're also doing the burger flipping in the off days. You're a rickshaw
What if you had
driver.
a food rickshaw. You just like put your food truck like on your shoulders and run down the street. Maybe not run. That'd be
Pedal.
that's a
pedal.
terrible idea. Don't do that.
yeah, I
But a
don't.
nice bike, maybe a nice bike.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah, we could do that. I mean, you could do that. I could finance that. I'll buy you a bicycle. That's easy. This food truck, we're getting in way over our heads.
I'm not sure if, granted, now that I pedal a bike professionally, technically for work,
Yeah.
I think I'm good, but I don't know if I can, pull a whole food trailer with just a bicycle.
Well, I mean, so maybe not, but I think at the very least we put you in the Tour de Georgia next year, and you can pedal across the state on your bike and carry the Burnham Project flag with you. That'd be fun, right?
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
we can find me a bike and I'll race it on the moped.
Now you're on. we are talking now.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Top out about 35, so like we're not breaking any land speed records, but it'll be fun.
I just got to go 36 on a bike.
That's it. I'll just 1 more mile per hour faster than that, right? I'll top out there and just be done. But we'll just have to make the race short enough that you don't have time to get up to that speed.
Downhill. Let's go.
We're going up Clock Tower Hill
up Clock Tower Hill. I like my odds. We're going to pedal the bike up the hill. If you don't live in Rome, Clock Tower Hill is, I don't know, it's probably 35 degrees up, from all sides. There's no like flat way to get up there. So yeah, no, this is a terrible idea.
It's a god awful idea.
We're cooking up good ideas and some bad ideas. Listen, not all ideas are winners.
Everywhere. I just noticed. I got into one earlier. They're all over the place.
We're throwing things at the wall. Some are sticking, some ain't.
Yeah. You guys are like privy right now to me and Briggs catching up. I hadn't seen you in 10 years or more, and we're just tossing ideas around. This is normally the kind of conversation we have off air.
Fair enough.
This is kind of what it turns into, or devolves into. I don't know. Doesn't sound super intelligent, but we're having a good time. Yeah. I don't know. All good. But yeah, I don't know. I asked you earlier about guys from the old days that you bump into. I don't know. I thought of Johnny Harris every now and then.
I haven't seen him in a hot minute.
He's got a baby. All kinds of fun stuff.
Last time I saw him was Jules' wedding. Mm-hmm. And so that was the last time I saw Johnny. It was the last time... that was the last time I saw him and a couple others, but...
That was just over a year ago. I was going to do that wedding. But then I was supposed to be in Nebraska that weekend. I was flying out to see Drew, and my mom had a stroke, so I didn't get to do that either. She's okay now, but couldn't have done the wedding and didn't get to go to Nebraska. So it was what it was. So I hadn't seen those guys even then that recently.
Yeah, you missed one interesting on the wedding because apparently Jewel had this poem she want read, and Johnny's freaking out trying to figure out how he wanted to read the poem.
Right.
And I may or may not have grabbed his sheet and started reading it with the voice of Shaggy.
Oh.
So.
Now, when we say Shaggy, are we talking Scooby-Doo Shaggy or are we talking about the guy in the closet?
Legs zoink scoops.
Okay. All right. That's Shaggy. We get copyright infringement on that now.
My bad.
This is hard.
And
no,
he's got
good.
he's got the Scooby laugh going over there.
He does. Tango's got the Scooby laugh. It's fantastic.
This is why we're best friends. It's always Scooby and Shaggy, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Should have let you host this episode.
Squirrel and Moose.
Run the show.
Oh, it'd been even further off track at this point.
I'm sure, yeah.
We would have been in a cornfield by now.
I mean, but that's fun, though, right? Like I said, the last episode, we got into some pretty heavy stuff. And way back when, when me and Drew were doing this, we talked about not putting two seriously heavy episodes together. We're like, man, let's have some fun and laugh about it a little bit. So this really is a lot different than any episode I can think of ever.
Fair enough.
As far as just being all over the place, right? You got one in mind?
Conspiracies.
That one was pretty wild.
Because they're turning the freaking frogs gay.
Yeah, you came in. You were Alex Jones and Trump and Tango and his impressions. But yeah, this one's not so formatty.
Like you said, it pretty much is us just catching up after so
long.
It
is, yeah.
This one's great. It's huge.
That's gonna be the best.
It's gonna be great.
This one will do silly numbers, like it'll be the best episode we ever did, numbers wise. And I don't know. I can't figure out what's gonna do well and what's not.
Yeah.
We're pretty consistent number wise, but sometimes we got one that just skyrockets. Why? What was different about that one? And sometimes they do really well, and why. You felt like it was going to be a good one. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
By the way, I want to point out, I love that you two are matching right now with your flannels.
The flannels, yeah.
I didn't get the memo.
You got the hoodie on. Nobody can see Tango, but he's back there in a hoodie.
So
with the hat.
You know this for a fact, Tango. If it's summertime, I'm in a Hawaiian shirt. If it starts getting cold, the flannels come out. You should have known what I was going to be wearing today.
I knew that. I didn't know him. I haven't seen Danny wear a flannel shirt yet. It's normally a green shirt, a black shirt, a navy shirt, or a polo.
You have, though. You might not remember this. The very first time you ever came in this building, I was wearing this. You commented on it as we were walking up the stairs. I had different shoes on at the time because you mentioned that too. You were like, man, you got the Vans and the sweat, the vest.
Oh,
and the
yeah,
flannel. You got this whole pastor vibe going.
Yeah, I know. My first time
These are
seeing
not skinny
you.
jeans.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the Ron Canceller look.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I thought. I was like, I saw him in the vest, and all I could think of is Ron Canceller and the pastors that wear vests.
Man, I learned, and I didn't even think about that. Ron was a vest guy. I learned so much about being a pastor from Ron. Like, he was a fantastic pastor to be, a deacon under. What a great guy. That's how I need to get Ron on.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Ron's not far away. He's in, where's he at, Noonan or?
Flowery Branch.
Is he in Flowery Branch?
That's the one I
It's
say
south, right?
Yeah.
Flowery Branch is not south.
I thought it was.
No.
It's
No,
like
Flower Branch is north. He's down.
He's in Noonan.
You're right.
Noonan, right?
Yeah, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
You're right.
Ron
You're right.
Chancellor, if you're listening to this,
We'll
me a
send it to
message.
you.
Yeah.
If you're cooking and hear your name randomly pop up, go ahead and pay
We've mentioned
attention.
him a bunch of times. We talked about him some when Lyle was here. Lyle met him on a little mission trip we went on. Yeah, we need to get Ron. Anyway, I learned a ton of stuff from Ron. Ron talked about doing things with excellence, which is not what this episode is. But he just, he wasn't, you guys know this, like Ron would tell you that he was not the best preacher, like the most dynamic speaker. He was good at it, but his thing was being a pastor. So much of what you do as a pastor is not preaching. But, I learned a ton of stuff from that guy. He was a good dude. I hope you guys did too, right? You paid attention, right? You guys learned a lot of stuff from him. Yeah, are you just saying that because you think he might be watching now?
No, I'm not saying that. It's because I did. I loved Ron as a pastor.
No, Ron was a great. I was sad when Mark Summers left. Loved Mark. And then Ron came in. I was like, all right, he's okay. I helped hire Ron, as a matter of fact. But he was a good dude. He still is a good dude. He still is.
He's all over the world.
He is. Did we determine where he was most recently? He was overseas, and we talked about this last episode, and we couldn't remember. I said like Sierra Leone or something.
I thought it was like Serbia or something like that.
I don't know. Ron
It's
goes into
somewhere
some
in-
places.
He's normally in like Europe,
He goes to Albania,
Belarus.
and this was neither one of those places. And I
No, this
forget
was a
where it
new
was.
one for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was a new one for him or not.
Let's
but
ask him when we get him on.
We'll do that when he gets on here.
Da,
Yeah.
da, da, da.
Right, setting you up, Ron. You got to come through now. You have to. You're obligated. And it'll be excellent when you get here. It'll be great. It'll be way better than this.
Well, what? This is great.
yeah, it's great. Where will we at time wise? Just out of
Do
curiosity.
you really want to know?
We're an hour in.
We're an hour and 1 minute and 30 seconds right
I do
now.
that every week. I nail it, like just within 10 minutes or so.
Granted, if we cut that intro out.
I mean, we were just getting warmed up. It's all good. All good. So, you're back. Man, we got to not wait 10 years to be in the same room again.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, what if this works out? It's November the 27th right now. So, we're going to hang out in no later than a month from now. So, we got that covered. But after a month from now, so if you're listening to this, in 2025 in July, whatever. That is what it is. And me and John will have seen each other again before then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all good. But we'll, I guess
Wait.
Whoa,
I got questions.
Oh, bring it,
Oh,
dude.
Lord.
Bring it.
So, Johnny B, we've caught up to now.
Okay, yeah.
What's the future look like for you? What's the next plans?
Man, if you don't say food truck.
We've talked about the dream.
Yeah. I'm always looking at food truck stuff. I'm
All right.
usually day off. It's 4 a.m. since I work nights.
Right.
That's when I'm awake. I'll be, sitting there watching TV. I just got something on. I'll be just basically scrolling, looking at stuff, trying to figure it out. I've got
Right.
a little spreadsheet of things I kind of like and I want and how much it costs and this, that, the other. So
So you got a ballpark figure for this is the dollar amount that I need to get my food truck going?
essentially, yeah.
All right.
So, because you can get things running, low end, tag tax title. You got, if you do the trailer pulled by a truck versus an actual drivable truck,
Right.
it can be cheaper.
Yeah.
Plus, it's better, like your truck breaks down. Well, it's a trailer. I can go to U-Haul.
Yeah.
Rent one real quick. Whereas,
Right.
if you got the drivable kind, you
don't have to maintain an additional vehicle if you just have a trailer. I got you.
It's,
yeah.
I can't make money until this is fixed. This, that, the other.
Right.
Like I said, the other one, you can go to U-Haul or you're like, oh, I forgot this. Well, you just drop the trailer real quick, run and go grab it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. I mean, if I were going to start a food truck, I think it would be a trailer, just because you don't have to maintain. Like we bought a camper, and we were trying to decide, camper versus like mobile home,
Yeah.
or, driver or whatever. And I was like, well, you let it sit for a while, and your belts and hoses wear out, and your tires dry rot, and and you get some of that anyway. But you don't have to maintain a vehicle if you're just pulling trailers. Not
Yeah.
yeah. That's easier, I think. We can make this happen, man.
Yeah, and you can roughly start one around 50, low end around 50,000.
Yeah.
That's getting all your licensing, paper products, food products, the trailer, and this, that, the other. Low end is around 50. High end's about whatever high end is going to run you.
So would you do one kind of food, or do you think you would rotate based on, what different festivals you go to or customer request? Or
I'd probably do rotate, because that's what me and Red did. Is like we'd kind of choose a menu idea that hey, we're gonna do this, and we would do that for about a month or two until we got bored of doing that. And then we would choose another one, do that for a month or two until we got bored of it. And so that's how we did it. Like I said, it was Red's Kitchen.
Right.
It didn't say barbecue, burgers, tacos.
Yeah.
It just,
you didn't pigeonhole yourself.
Yeah, it was open ended.
Right.
You could do whatever you wanted whenever you wanted to do it.
I got you. Well, if you look at, that's not unheard of either, because you look at a restaurant and they've got the soup of the day.
Yeah.
And things rotate on and off the menu. The McRib is back right now, right? Whatever. The McRib is nasty. I hate to break it to y'all.
I've never had a McRib.
It's disgusting.
Don't do it.
Don't waste your time. You have a refined palate. Don't waste it on a McRib.
You say like I didn't eat a Tostino's party pizza when I got home from work this morning.
Sometimes, you get a pinch and you need a party pizza.
You can ask pretty much any like restaurant worker like that actually works back at house doing the cooking. There's like when they cook for other people, it is just absolutely spectacular. They go hard. This, that, the other. When they cook fancy for themselves, it's like, I put my pizza rolls in the oven instead of the microwave this time.
Every mechanic I've ever known drives a beat up old car. You know what I mean? Like a truck with pieces falling off of it or whatever. So that's, I get it. It's like, you don't want to cook after you've been cooking all day.
Yeah, it was like I go to work, I fix those machines for 12 hours, this, that, the other. I don't know if you watched whenever I pulled up, even though I have my nice SUV, my window keeps falling in the door. And so this last time it happened, I was on the way home from vacation. And so thankfully I was in like the parking lot of a hardware store. Mm-hmm. So I run in, grab the stuff I need real quick, take my door apart, pick the window back up.
In the parking lot. That's awesome.
Put my door back together. This is over a month ago. And I still have yet to take my door apart so that I can open my door from the inside. I have to drop my window.
Oh, no.
I have to drop the window that likes to fall inside the door.
Well, you look like you were struggling to get out. And I thought it might have been because you're 6'12", but...
Well, that's why
that's an SUV. Like, it shouldn't be that big a deal.
That's why I get the big vehicles.
I got you.
One, I learned to drive in a Ram 1500.
Yeah,
so I'm just comfortable with that. But two, it's easier for me to get in and out.
I got you. At
one point, I had a Hyundai Elantra, and
to fold yourself up to get in there.
Yeah, and then
that's terrible.
Thankfully, I was really young and had still good knees whenever Tango had the Fiero trying to lay down into that thing.
Fiero. I saw one of those for sale today. I thought about you. It was on Facebook Marketplace.
Don't tip me because I will spend all.
I mean, it was like $800. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you. You need that car in your life. You don't, man. You don't. The guy, there was a list of things like,
I don't care. I'll shove a Corvette engine in it.
I just did 3 days of double time. If you don't do it, I will.
We're shoving an LS engine in it, and we'll make it go. It may end up in a tree or skipping across the water, but it's going to go.
It's not. Let's not do those things.
But that's the thing. Mythbusters proved a Pontiac Fiero can, in fact, skip across the water.
Did they? Was that?
Yes.
Yes, they tried to skip a car across water, and they're like, well, we got to do this. We got to do something small and light, and they picked a Fiero.
And it's plastic. It's Barbie's nightmare.
You don't have the best run with these expeditions that you drive.
This one, he's done well. I'm proud of him.
This one's been around for a while, but
We all
this is
put
our fourth one.
I think this is number 4.
Yeah, including the one of your dad's that you destroyed.
Two.
Okay.
I killed 2 of his. I had to buy 2. This is my 3rd one I've bought.
I've got one. He's never driving my expedition.
I also have an expedition.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
His matches mine, but his is just new and fancy.
It was really
mine
nice.
is
I was proud of
luxury.
you when you pulled up. It was really good. Except for the window thing. It was nice.
Mine's just all aggressive and anger.
Oh, you got lights and big wheels and all kinds of fun stuff on there.
Raptor engine.
Yeah. Was it you got a dude on the side. Who do you have?
I got the bully dog tuner chip.
Yeah.
Not sponsored,
But
but
it's the stuff you do when you guys age and you're single and you don't have to explain to your wife why you wasted money on a bully dog to go on your truck or a light bar or some ridiculous rims or whatever.
Oh, no. So whenever I bought that thing, I bought it for my birthday last year. I told him about it. I sent him a picture of it. And he beat me home.
there's a picture of them sitting together.
Just so he could take that. And then he's like, I have an extra light bar. Opens trunk, pulls out extra light bar. Do you want it?
Isn't Tango a great guy? Isn't he just fantastic? Here's a light bar. I've got a GoPro mount on my scooter that's been on there since July. And he's like, it's yours. I'm like, okay. I don't have a GoPro.
I need to throw that GoPro at you.
Just keep it. It's fine. He does all this for me. God bless him. I don't own any of this stuff. I had some $14 Amazon plug-and-play mics, and then here comes Tango. Let me help you out with that. Okay, let's do it.
He had most of this stuff just laying around, not doing anything.
I know. He's got your toy box over there is what we talked about when we were here off air earlier. It's like, oh, you got your podcast box. I was like, yeah, this is Tango's toy box. I'm pulling out wires and these boom arms and, tripods and all kinds of fun stuff. Just stays piled up in the corner over there. It's nice and neat, though, in that box.
I feel like you need to get just like a label that just says Tango's Toy Box.
Tango's toy box, yeah.
I'm going to go get a sticker made for it.
For sure, let's make that happen. Yeah. What else you got for Johnny B, Tango?
I think that's it. I just wanted to know what the future looked like for him.
Yeah.
Want to get to know that.
Apart from the food truck,
Yeah.
what does the future look like?
Well, nothing too much at the moment. I did put in for a new position at the tire prison.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe hopefully get
You
that.
probably shouldn't say tire prison. I mean, he said it, but he doesn't work there.
I'm sure there's been worse said in the Facebook group.
All right. Yeah, I hear about the Facebook group. My brother's part of the Facebook group, and he's like, I don't ever comment in there because people are off the rails, and he's scrolling, and he's like, that guy's in management.
It is a lawless place.
I mean-
it is funny sometimes.
Sometimes.
It is the Wild West.
But also, so we were using like ADP.
Go ahead.
And they
I
were
just
like trying
had
to
an
do
idea.
like UK, like change it to another one, but like everyone's having problems going to the other one, so they just quit trying to go to the other one. And it's like, okay, well, we still have both. Let's get rid of the new one that we don't like, and let's just take it all the way back. And so like every other post I see going in there is either someone posting a meme, or it's like, how do I log into this?
That's the way you get through, though, right? Because
Yeah.
you guys do this job where you're there for 12 hours a day. And some people, I know people that work or live in like Ellijay and drive or Rome and drive, an hour to get there sometimes. So like, that's camaraderie. It's the stuff you got to have.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your job just turns into a grind.
Well, it's like one of my supervisors, he lives in Ellijay, and it's like every once in a while I end up at his place, and those tacos, holy moly, those tacos! Like
Tacos. Okay.
Him and his wife, when they start cooking, I love it. His wife makes like this Mexican green spaghetti.
See, I know what a foodie you are, so I know what this means coming from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sat there like the first time I ever went up there, they're like, okay, the green spaghetti looks weird, just eat it. And I was like, it doesn't even look that weird. And I tried it and I was instantly in love. It's one of those. It's just,
Yeah.
he lives in LJ, and you know what? Every couple weekends, maybe once a month, I'm okay with that drive just because there's
bad.
tacos,
It's
there's
not
great
bad.
food.
I mean, I'll drive, for some solid tacos. So we have an excellent Mexican restaurant on the same block with us here. But man, I eat there once a week probably. If I can go somewhere and get some fire tacos, that's some new stuff. That's good. Sign me up. Speaking of new things, the idea I had just a second ago, we talked a little bit about this off air. Well, I've got you two guys here that are younger. Johnny B, I don't know how much help you're going to be because you said you don't know anything about NFTs, but we were talking about this a little bit. I made a post on Facebook earlier today, and I was like, hey, are we still doing NFTs? Is that a thing, right? Because for a while there, you got the Gary Vaynerchuks of the world running around talking about NFTs, and you got to get some, and then you got to sell them, and you got to – and I don't know – what a non-fungible token is. Like, is this one as I hold up this water bottle? I don't know. Like, what could be an NFT?
We can make it one.
Can you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can make this podcast one.
I'm told that my buddy Scotty at Scramble is like the NFT expert. But so Scotty's not here right now. So let's talk about making this episode of the podcast an NFT. What does that look like?
Oh man!
Should we say it out loud? Like, can somebody else make it an NFT, or is this?
I haven't made an NFT. I just know kind of what they are and how they function, and the fake money that's involved.
Fake money? Are we calling it fake money?
It's digital money. It's
Okay.
fake.
It's digital monopoly money.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty and colorful. I mean, you use your Monopoly money to buy a picture that they own. You're buying an asset that's a. Yeah.
So I take a picture of this water bottle on the table right here, and I say, that's an NFT.
Yeah.
And I sell it to you for a Bitcoin or a 1/32 thousandth of a Bitcoin, whatever, $10, say, worth of Bitcoin or Doge or Algorand. Is that a thing? I don't know. I'm learning all these new things today. So, but I can do that, right? That's a thing.
Yeah.
And then you'll pay me for this picture of this water bottle. What are we doing in America?
What would I even do with the picture of the water bottle I just spent $10 on?
That's my thing. I don't know. What do you do with it?
It's yours. It's like artwork. It's digital artwork that you can own.
Okay.
I mean, I can screenshot said water bottle and do the same thing and say, I have the same water bottle, but
Right. But it's not the original. It's just the fact that you know that it's the original is what makes it valuable.
I don't know. I don't own them, but
Man, okay.
I mean, in theory,
Right?
someone could end the U.S. debt with NFTs, if you've heard that one.
I've heard that one.
Okay, go.
So you can make a cryptocurrency for nothingness. Pretty much
Okay.
like a
Just create
tenth of a
one,
tenth
like-
of a tenth of a penny.
Right, like Doge or,
Yeah.
or Bitcoin or anything. Yeah.
And then you sell it to your friend. Let's say Johnny B buys it for a tenth of a penny. And then he sells it back to me. But this time I pay $1 for it. We've suddenly just created a taxable event.
Okay.
And at a certain amount, this becomes into the trillions of dollars that the U.S. government would demand in taxes. Even though it's not real money,
Right.
The government wants to tax your monopoly money. So, in theory, you could end the U.S. debt. Now, you may spend the rest of your life in federal prison.
It's worth a shot, right?
One man's sacrifice could save us all.
Oh, well, which one of us is it going to be then? Who's it going to be? Ready? Rock, paper, scissors? Everybody? So, but you say this is not real money. Bitcoin, Doge, whatever coin we try to create is not real money. But, like, is the dollar real money at this point? It's not backed by anything anymore except for you'll give me things for it.
Well, I mean, how many people actually carry around a real physical dollar?
Not very many. There's one in our offering box over there right now. There's $1.
Your bank account is kind of made up money where it's that whole thing where the
Yeah.
bank's like, You
got
have
cash
this
on you right
money,
now?
but
No, but
we're
I do
using
have
it.
a quarter.
He's got a quarter.
I
John Briggs
physically
has
have a quarter
for this illustration. John Briggs, for those of you audio only folks, is actually holding a quarter right now. Might have been a while since you've seen one.
But it's not a real quarter.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No,
There's nothing saying this quarter is in fact worth a quarter of a dollar. But hey, the
Except that
government did,
I'll
and we
give you-
trust those guys, right?
Yeah, I'll give you what I feel like is a quarter's worth of something for that quarter. Matter of fact, the bubblegum machine out there in the hallway belongs to the church, so if you want to drop it in there, that'd be great. It's just a handful of peanut M&Ms.
So really, the digital money is real. It's just not tangible, so I call it fake.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call it
so
fake
that's what
because
we mean by fake. Then is that it's not tangible.
it's not tangible. I can't.
You can't hold.
There's not a real Bitcoin.
Bitcoin in your hand.
Correct.
Okay, but I have one in my. I don't have an entire Bitcoin. Holy smokes! In my wallet, in my Bitcoin wallet via Cash App, I've got some Bitcoin in there.
I was gonna say, if you had a whole Bitcoin, why are we talking about how am I gonna fund a food truck?
We got a food truck today. Yeah, okay. All right. So we can just decide something as an NFT. And of course, nobody's obligated to buy it, right? It's not like when you sell stock back
Correct.
to the company or, you know.
You gotta have some hype behind it, some Logan Paul behind it. The greatest con man salesman there
I would
is.
have been fine if we just never ever said his name on this podcast. Unless it was Logan Paul comes to Jesus. Anyway. Yeah, okay. So Preston says he's buying one if Tango's involved. I don't know if you saw this post or not, but I asked about it and he's like, "Hey, I would totally buy a Burnham Project NFT as long as Tango was involved." And I was like, "NF Tango."
Okay.
How do you feel about being an NFT? You can buy Tango. How about that? You can be, if you go to our Patreon and specifically say Cash App wherever we're at, you can own Tango for.
Oh my god! I didn't know I was being sold on air.
So here's the stipulation, though. It's $100 million, so it's going to be. It's going to have to be, a real player like an Elon Musk or one of those types. So selling my producer right now. I need him though. If you'll just let me borrow him every Monday night while we record these things.
Does that mean I can get a food truck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
If we sell Tango, it means I get a food truck.
100%.
I'm
Okay.
down for it.
So I understand this much more about NFTs now than I did in crypto, I guess, for that matter. I don't know. Crypto fascinates me. I think it's cool. I don't understand. I've never taken the time to learn and digest, what it really is. I've got a little bit of it, but I don't know what to do with it.
I think it's the millennial brain in us. Is like, I want to buy Monopoly money.
Maybe, but I mean,
maybe. I'm
So-
just like, that's a waste of time and effort.
but you can take this fake money, air quotes, and people give you real money for it.
Yeah.
Because I've got it on my Cash App, and I can just convert it right back into.
Well, here's what's fun. You
Let's have
don't
fun.
actually have to spend money to make that money. You can mine it with the computers. They're Bitcoin miners.
Do you know about this?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Okay, I've heard of the term mining Bitcoin before.
You get some computers, quite a few of them, and you can run some programs, and it will digitally mine some money for you.
So I
And
thought
you're-
that Bitcoin was finite. Like there's a limit on the amount of Bitcoin that there is.
There is.
And it's all on the blockchain, which I feel like I sort of understand.
Yes. It's part of that finite thing. It's still a little bit growing, I think.
Yeah.
There's still some growth there. Once we get into that, I'm
Okay.
I'm in the deep end.
So we've reached the end
with the
of
sharks.
I got you. See, you only know a little more than I do about it. Then.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I don't know. Like I said, it's always kind of fascinated me. There's probably some application in there for the believer. I don't know. Should the church be taking up Bitcoin offering? Holy smokes, that's its
Absolutely.
own episode, right? Yeah. Man, that's its own. I need somebody like an expert to come on and talk about that and how that applies.
You got one.
Yeah, I have to get Scotty. Scotty is into it, man. You met Scotty. Was Scotty at
Yeah,
Scramble?
Scotty
Yeah,
was.
Okay. You met Scotty. Scotty's a good dude. Yeah, we'll get Scotty on. He can tell us about how the church and it relates to Bitcoin, and we've done one about AI before,
Yeah.
which is not so far off.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're digging into new, breaking barriers, reaching beyond the stars.
Man, this turned into a good episode after all, didn't it? After all the hullabaloo early on.
We pulled back and course corrected.
We did. And I sort of had the suspicion that this is how this episode would go anyway. And I'm good with it, man. It is what it is. It was fun. I've had a good time. We've laughed more than not laughing.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about anything serious, and that's okay. But we're going to figure out how the church relates to Bitcoin, though, to crypto. That's not a bad idea at all.
No.
We're doing that. The church is getting a
Make a Redeemer coin or something.
Redeemer coin. Woo! Now we're flipping tables if we're not very careful here. This is create our own cryptocurrency. Where you at on that, John? Should I do that? Let's.
I did.
He throws his hands up. Now he had a whole bunch of stuff to say earlier, and now the cat's got his tongue all of a sudden.
I don't know anything about any of that. I've never dealt with any crypto, NFTs. Like, I don't deal with. I don't know. I let him do all the tech stuff.
Yeah.
He deals in food.
So could I buy a cheeseburger with a little bit of Bitcoin? I mean, do you take Bitcoin for payment? I don't know.
I mean, I can set something up. But if I get a whole Bitcoin, like I said, I can probably get a food truck going pretty quick.
I got you. So anybody's got a Bitcoin laying around, hook my boy up. We can make this food truck thing happen. But as it is, we've talked about it 45 minutes past this episode, jumping the shark.
But we course corrected. We're good.
We came
We're
back around
back.
and hit on some subject matter, and we caught up with the life and times of Johnny Briggs, and that was the main objective for the evening anyway.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So we're getting out of here. That's where we're going to jump off in this episode. Thank you, man, for coming in. And
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
we'll hash things out toward the New Year's end of things. We'll keep you guys updated on that. It's going to be fun. We'll sit down New Year's Eve. We'll go live on YouTube, Rumble, all that sort of stuff. And we'll have an event, I don't know, maybe not entirely unlike you're used to seeing on New Year's Eve with the countdown and all that good stuff. And we'll have some, again, the stuff I mentioned earlier, festivities in between. And it'll be a good time. Hope you guys join us at least for part of the show. And if not, it'll be on there later and you can just go back and watch it. So there's that. But we're out of here. God bless you guys. We love you. See you next time. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.